So what is going on, guys? It is Crisis Diamago here, coming at you live and in person. In today's video, guys, I want to talk to you about the patch that recently came to Battlefield 4 on September 30th. A lot of things came in this patch. I'm not going to go over everything. This is kind of just like an early impressions, things that I like and things that I dislike about it, and basically just an overall kind of like a first glance review. First of all, the video clip that you're watching right now was me probably on my best start off of ever playing on Gold Mud Railway. This is one of my favorite maps. After about a third of the way, 2/3 of the way through the game, every other person on their team rage quit with the exception of about 2, so the gameplay got kind of boring and we're going to switch up to some more exciting gameplay after that. But I really had quite the tear on this map and I just felt like uploading it. So with that being said, guys, let's get right into the positives that I felt from this patch. First would be the weapon recoil done to bullpup style weapons. Now if you guys don't know what a bullpup style weapon is, basically the bulldog is essentially the best one because it has bull in it, but basically the bullpup weapon is when the magazine is back towards the stock, towards the shooter's shoulder and body, and basically creates a tighter package. This is to give you better recoil in real life. That's what bullpup weapons are so popular, because they have that tight, compact feeling, and they are also very accurate. I always felt that the bullpup weapons in this game weren't as accurate as they should be, and DICE agreed with me and basically changed up the accuracy for these guns. If you guys saw my loadout video, you guys know that the MTAR-21 is my go-to gun, is my favorite weapon. It is a bullpup style gun, and I always felt that the recoil was kind of about it. After this patch, I pulled out the Bulldog and went after it again, and it was an absolutely different gun. So if you guys have not used bullpup weapons in the past, make sure you go check them out, try them out, because there's a few of them out there. The FAMAS, the AUG 23, I believe, the MTAR-21, and the Bulldog. Those are all the bullpup weapons I can think of off the top of my head. Those are all the ones that I've used, so go check them out because they're completely different weapons now, and I think it was a really good, basically a really good buff that I felt needed done to the game. Then we have the Medic Revive Timer. If you guys play Medic, I play Medic pretty much every time I play Team Deathmatch, not so much for Conquest and things like that. I usually run an Engineer or Support, but basically you have a little lightning bolt revive timer for your defibrillator, so you could go up and defibrillate somebody and bring them back. They have added a timer around the outside of that circle that ticks down, and this is something I've been begging for since the beginning of Battlefield 4, because I'm so sick of running out there, having my defibs out, charging them up to try to bring the guy back, and I go to shock him, he basically dies and goes off the screen, and then I'm stuck with my defibrillators out and there's 3 or 4 dudes surrounding me, and I can just look at his timer and be like, no, I'm not going to be able to get to him, and then I can just kind of let him die. I know that's a horrible thing to say, but it preserves my own life, and especially in Team Deathmatch, your own life is just as important as everybody else's, so it's just a good way to keep the medics from unnecessarily dying, because if your medics all die, nobody can bring you back. So I thought that was something that was really, really cool and something that was really needed in the game. Then we have the shield above players' heads who will run the defensive field upgrade. Basically, all this showed me is that everybody and their mother runs the defensive field upgrade, because whenever you spot somebody, normally you have the little triangle above their head. If they are running the defensive field upgrade, they will now have a little glowing, like ambient looking light shield thing above their head. And the other day I was playing and pretty much everybody in the other team had this shield above their head, and I was like, this might explain why I was losing so many gunfights, because everybody and their mother is running the defensive perk. So that's really cool. It lets you know, hey, you should probably go for some more headshots, or you know, it's going to take you some more bullets, so don't just pop a few into the guy and then turn around and run and think that he's going to drop, because that's probably not going to be the case. Now, some cons to this update: the weapon balancing overall is still way off. The AK-12, the Scar H, those guns are way too overpowered. I was using the AK-12 as pretty much a troll the one day. I was picking people off from the other edge of the map with this gun, and there is no way that should happen. The Scar H, you just come around the corner and it melts people. I mean, there are times where it doesn't matter what gun I'm running, I could come walking around the corner with a rocket launcher, and these guys just spray me down with a Scar H, and it's absolutely ridiculous. those guns need some serious nerfs because they are just too ridiculous. They are just too overpowered. And I get it. They want the beginning guns to be as competitive as possible, but there's no reason why the beginning gun should be as powerful as the gun that I had to work and level up and get all the way to unlock, and basically just melt me every time I run into it. So that was just something that kind of irritated me a little bit. They did all this weapon balancing, but really nothing to the damage profiles of these two specific weapons. Then they changed the grenades on me. I have been using the RGO impacts here lately, and they dropped it to 1, and you guys know as well as I do, the grenades are very precious in Battlefield. So I had to actually switch back to the V40 Mini, only to find out that they reduced the damage radius of the V40 Mini. So it's kind of like a catch-22. Do you want to have more grenades, or do you want to have one grenade that's a little bit more powerful? And it's just a fiasco. I really felt that changing the way that the grenades was a bad idea when I first heard about it, and I pretty much stick with that today. Yes, there's a lot of explosive spam, but in real combat there's a lot of explosives being flung around as well, so I think that's something that DICE kind of dropped the ball on. Then we have the invisible players. Now, we had the countdown timer put into the game. It's not the countdown timer that I would prefer, so this is kind of like an in limbo thing. That's why I didn't really put the countdown timer in my pros section, but I think it's a step in the right direction. The countdown timer I wanted was more like Call of Duty or like Crysis 3, where everybody, you know, basically spawns in, everything gets a chance to render, and then you rush at your other teammates. I also wanted the actual spawn locations to change, because I'm so sick of spawning into a fresh map and I go running around the corner and I meet the entire team within about 20 seconds of, you know, playing the game. That's just absolutely ridiculous, especially when half of them are still invisible. So I believe the countdown timer was a good idea. However, I believe it was poor execution. I really don't like the way the countdown timer is done, but again, it is a step in the right direction, so that's why I can't really put it as a positive or a negative. I just think it's kind of meh. But that pretty much wraps it up for the video, guys. If you guys play Battlefield, let me know down in the comment section below what you think of this patch update. Did you enjoy it? Do you like all the changes that were made? What don't you like about the changes that were made? Also, Cinched Gaming and G2A.com down in the description below. As always, guys, my social media links are going to be down there as well, so make sure to bug me on every single one of those. And until next time, guys, I'm Crysis the Imago, and I'll see ya when I see ya.